Good morning. Consistency. Do you have it or do you not? Consistency is one of those amusing words that people bandy about when you don't have it. So, we're going to talk a little bit today about what consistency is and what consistency isn't. Consistency is that quote that we used to hear all the time that showing up is half the job. And it's very true. Showing up is half the job. If you show up, chances are you're going to succeed a certain amount of the time. It's just up one of those things that actually, one of those truisms that is actually true. So let's give you some other quotes. Um, the Rock, Dwayne Johnson. Success isn't always about greatness, it's about consistency. Consistent hard work leads to success, greatness will come. And I love that quote. And the reason I love that quote is because I see people in my coaching practice all the time who feel they have to be perfect. When I started going live in 2019, I was not perfect. I look back at some of those videos and I laugh and I cringe. But what it did, it taught me how to show up live. It taught me that I have the database to know what I'm talking about on my subject of choice, that I can do a thought leadership video just like this one, just like you can, because somebody else has done it first. And that's because somebody else has been consistent. So, consistency, social media. Earlier this year, I pledged to post 365 times on social media this year. I did that kind of with a quibble by the end of April. I posted every day across 6 different platforms. It was mostly the same content, but it showed my people, my tribe, consistency. There are ways you can do it manually, where you go in every morning, you set it in your Google, your iCalendar to get up at 8 o'clock, and you've got your content kind of laid out in on index cards or on your screen, and you go live. And people expect you to go live at 8:10. Here's the thing: we live in a world right now where if it's 8:10 Eastern Time in the United States, it's 8:10 p.m. in the Philippines. It's 5:10 a.m. in the morning in Los Angeles. Are all my people going to be in the Eastern Time zone? No. My coaching clients within 30 miles will be in the Eastern Time zone, but I've coached people around the world and across the country, and it's my honor to do so. But to do it, maybe on different channels, and there's research on this that changes every month, so don't hold me to these numbers. On Instagram, it was considered best to post around 10 o'clock in the morning because people were getting coffee breaks. If you were posting on Facebook, it was around 5 o'clock at night because people were getting out of work. On YouTube, again, it doesn't matter what time you post as long as you do it consistently. There are tools for this. In Facebook and Instagram, there's Creator Studio, that's free. There's also an app called Later, which has a free version and a paid version, which will allow you to batch content. Batching content is one of the coolest things in the world because sometimes we are creative in the car. Sometimes we are creative in the shower. Sometimes we are creative in the middle of the night. And we need to capture those thoughts, even though we're not going to go live at 3 in the morning unless we're on TikTok. And then we'll have an audience on TikTok. Different video. Here's the thing. We need to have a notepad open on our computer at all times. And when we have a good idea, perhaps we're scrolling other people's content. Every fourth post, it's going to be interesting. There's going to be something there that you can take and give a different perspective, a different view, maybe give some more value to that original post. Write that down in your notepad, and when you're stuck for an idea next Tuesday, you've already got 5 in the bank. So to batch content, you put things in your notepad over a week or so. And you can actually book a couple hours in your iCalendar or your Google Calendar and batch out a bunch of content, record it, and put it into your apps to post at the specific time, same time every day. I don't want to overwhelm people, so you don't have to take the 365 post challenge like I did. You can post once a week to start. How's that? Posting once a week to start keeps your audience engaged. Once you get good at posting once a week, twice a week's better. There are people out there, I can think of Evan Carmichael for one, who probably posts 20 to 30 pieces of content every single day. He's always experimenting and tweaking, and he's one of the people that I get my numbers from of what's working in social media and what's not working in social media. Right now, for thought leadership, YouTube. So I'm showing up on YouTube. Some of this content may get edited down into 15-second reels for Instagram because that's what's working on Instagram right now. And I'm going to hold up my hand again. Today is May 6th, 2022. I know you don't care, but TikTok has taken over a lot of Instagram's business. So Instagram has stopped being a picture model for people, and it's becoming more of a short form video. They are competing with TikTok, different audience. I love my Instagram people. I get a lot of business from my women on Instagram who dig me. TikTok, I may be influencing the next generation. Some different demographics. Women who are 35 who are at Instagram have more money to spend than women who are 18 on TikTok. Makes perfect sense, correct? Unless that person who's 18 on TikTok is a social media influencer or a tech software guru who's designing gaming systems for people and has more money than time. So I'm good with that. So another quote about consistency. Being persistent may lead you to the door, but consistency is the key which unlocks it. Great quote, and that's Dale Carnegie. Dale Carnegie, famous motivational author. 100 years ago, all his stuff is still true. You'll find that in marketing and in motivation, there really aren't a lot of new thoughts. But there are thoughts that we can take, change a little bit to be more current, add a little value, and put them out there in our social media and help the next generation. And that's what we're doing. So what that quote actually means is the consistency. You don't have to be perfect, but you do have to be around. You have to be top of mind. Consistency is about being top of mind and being on target. So when in my other hat, I sell something called Living Benefits Life Insurance. So I'm talking about dying too young. I'm talking about getting ill or injured. I'm talking about having enough money to survive your retirement. And that's the three things that I will talk about in my consistency for Living Benefits Life Insurance. In coaching, it's different. I have my model. Almost all great coaches have a model. My model is motivation to motion to momentum. And here's why this works for almost everybody out there. Everyone gets stuck at one of those 3M stages. If you're not starting your project, you have a motivation problem. And I say that in the kindest, nicest way. You need to find something in your life or your circle that is more important to you than the reason you are not completing the project. Because if you are coaching, if you're doing thought leadership, if you're trying to help people, not getting your product out there is not helping people. So even if you're only 95% done, the customer is always going to tweak and change your product no matter what you do. I have coaching clients who come in every week where I'm prepared to talk about Facebook with them, and then they want to talk about changing jobs. So I put on my human resources hat, and we talk about changing jobs. Will we talk about updating their Facebook business page? Yes, we will. Is it going to be this week? No, because you have to help your customers where they're at right now. And getting your product 100% and thinking you're going to teach it 100% the same way every time is not going to work for your customers. So your customers will help refine and improve your product if you let your ego not get in the way. We are all very protective of our content. We all see our content come up in other people's feeds for some of the reasons that I talked about earlier. It's awful nice when someone quotes me for something that I've said, because I will say things in a little bit of a different way, because I do not want to steal someone's content. When I quoted Dwayne Johnson before, I gave him attribution. And that's something that you should always be doing. If you're using someone else's idea, you will want to give them credit for it. Because did Dwayne Johnson come up with consistent hard work leads to success? No. Did Dale Carnegie? Maybe. But it's a universal truth. But what he did is he tweaked it. He added a sentence before, he added a sentence after to give you a little bit of motivation. So motivation gets you started. If your cause isn't big enough for yourself right now, maybe you're doing this for your younger self, for every teenage girl who struggled with what you struggled with during your teenage year, for every young man who didn't make the football team, like you didn't make the football team the first time, like Michael Jackson didn't make his junior basketball team. That motivated him. That gave him some drive and power to go out and practice every day. And that he kept that consistency for the rest of his career. Can you imagine that? Even when he was on summer vacation after working at the highest level in the National Basketball Association for 9 months a year, he went out every morning and shot foul shots and jumpers and dunks at the gym to stay consistent, to stay on top of his game. Consistency ups your game every single time. So we want to do that. What else can I tell you about consistency? Consistency is more important than perfection. This is the motion part. We are posting. We've created some content. We've got our notes in Notepad. We've scheduled them. We are posting on a regular basis. We're starting to see some return. People are starting to like our content. People are starting to comment. People are starting to DM us. So this consistency will get you to perfection. It just takes the reps. So putting in the reps is always going to be half the battle. That is the motion part of my coaching model. The momentum part, you're starting to get the feedback. The feedback feels good. You start to doing the same things over and over again. Maybe you tweak it. Maybe you go from 1 time a week on YouTube to 2 times a week on YouTube. So the perfection comes by planning and doing and responding. Now, that's what consistency is to me. I would love to know in the comments what consistency is to you. And I am here answering questions 24/7. And I'm Coach Ron. I help people where they're at. Let me help you.